What's going on, everybody? Dialerix TV back with another video, and in today's video we'll be discussing a potential trade between the Los Angeles Lakers and the Utah Jazz. This article is per Inquisitor and the headline reads NBA rumors, Mike Conley to LA, Russell Westbrook to Utah, and a proposed Lakers Jazz blockbuster. This article was written by JB Barullo, and he goes on to say that the Los Angeles Lakers point guard Russell Westbrook is one of the veteran superstars who are highly expected to be traded in the 2022 NBA offseason. With the way he played in his first year wearing the purple and gold, it's crystal clear that Westbrook is not the third star that the Lakers need alongside the veteran superstar duo of LeBron James and Anthony Davis. When the 2021-2022 NBA season is officially over, the Lakers are expected to find a way to get rid of Westbrook and his massive salary. He says, Russell Westbrook to the Utah Jazz. One of the dark horse trade destinations for Westbrook this summer is the Utah Jazz. In a recent article, Greg Patudo of NBA Analysis Network discussed a hypothetical blockbuster trade idea that would enable the Lakers to dump the former MVP to the Jazz. In the proposed trade scenario, the Lakers would be sending a trade package that includes Westbrook's expiring contract, Talen Horton-Tucker, and a 2027 first-round pick to the Utah Jazz in exchange for Mike Conley, Bogdan Bogdanovic, and Hernan Gomez. So if you guys would like to read the full article, the link is in the description box. So I'm really a fan of Mike Conley. He's one of the most professional athletes in the game today. I don't think he truly gets enough respect, and I don't think that he gets the respect that he deserves. And I guess it's because he's not this flashy or this polarizing player, and he's not the type of player making all these headlines to seek attention and get all this press. He just comes in with his hard hat, does his work, and then he goes home. But he's never received a technical foul. He's a really great defender for his size. He could really see the floor really well. He can distribute the ball extremely well, and he can also score the ball really well in terms of, three-point shot making ability and as far as finishing at the rim. He's a hard-nosed defender. He's very competitive. I remember him being a part of that Memphis Grizzly core. This was before the Ja Morant era. This was a squad that consisted of Zach Randolph, Marc Gasol, Tony Allen, who's one of the best defenders in the league. But defensively, they were tough, gritty, and they was very physical in the post, and had a team full of wing players who was determined to make your night a living hell and force your best players on your team to have the worst shooting night. But they were one of the best teams in the West, which I'm really surprised that a lot of teams survived them in the West in the playoffs, and they had a really great run, and Mike Conley had a chance to be a part of that. It was really something special. But as I mentioned before, that if there was one player that I could pinpoint whose game is patterned or is very similar to Mike Conley, I would have to say D'Angelo Russell. Both of these players, they're not really quick or explosive, but they had to find other ways to create for themselves and create space to score the ball. And speaking of D'Angelo Russell, it brings me to this. If I were the Lakers front office, I would much rather the Lakers pass on Mike Conley, and especially the fact that they're saying that they should include the first round pick from 2027. I like Mike Conley, and even that to me is just as worse as trading for John Wall. Even though I think John Wall would just be the same as having Russell Westbrook, Mike Conley in this situation, he's just much older. But I think that the Lakers should much rather want to trade for a younger version of Mike Conley and D'Angelo Russell, if that makes sense. And though Mike Conley is a really good player and he thrives in a great system with a great coach, I just think the timing is off. But if the Lakers were to perhaps sign Mike Conley or had traded for him from the Memphis Grizzlies initially years ago when I suggested it, then I think that if they would have paired him with LeBron James and Al Horford and some 3-and-D wing players, the Lakers would have been in a much better position then than they are now. And I'm not saying that Mike Conley is just old and washed up and that he wouldn't be a great fit with the Lakers. That's not even remotely close to what I'm saying. But unfortunately, I just think that the Lakers' main focus and main objective should be to get younger players. And if they were to bring in Mike Conley, have him take this, veteran leadership role coming off the bench for the Lakers next season, and hopefully the Lakers could, potentially trade LeBron James, Anthony Davis, and Russell Westbrook, and just, start this new era and the life after LeBron James. No, not Biggie Smalls' life after death, but the Lakers' life after LeBron James, okay? But anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think. Y'all get in that comment box, like, share, subscribe. I'm out.